Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining me here today. And I want to continue the series on best trade setups by going over what is the first bounce trade. I hope, as usual, that this video will be of much value to you and that it's another piece that can be added to the puzzle to help you see the bigger picture when it comes to trading. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so the first bounce trade, what is it? There's no specific definition for the first bounce trade because it's quite an unusual setup. But it's basically the setup that you go to after the news, if we're going to be very simple with the definition. So you have an explosive news event. You don't want to be trading the news. You want to be trading after the news. So it's to follow through on that explosive move. So you're basically looking for an entry on the first pullback after, or just at the end of the first 15 minutes after the news. It's a very low stress, easy setup, and you do not counter trend the setup. Just to go over some of the reasons as to why it's risky to trade the news. We know that with the volatility that the news presents, we can have like gaps that occur during the news event. So you really don't want to be putting yourself under that undue stress and the uncertainty of not really being 100% sure as to where the news event will take the market, what direction the market will go in. That's a big issue. Spreads widen during the news. We tend to get a lot of whipsaws during the news where price goes low then goes high and whips both sides of the market and really basically just taking everybody out of the market a lot of the times. So you don't want to be setting your account up for that kind of risk where you end up maybe losing your account due to spreads and gaps and all of the volatility that is happening, chaos during the news event. The question to ask yourself is it worth it? And I believe the biggest answer is no, it's not worth it. Yes, we get news events often throughout the week. We do get major red news, not every week or every day of the week, but if there's a way that you knew you could safely trade a news event, then I believe this would be it. Now, the steps to take this trade. As I said before, the news event must be explosive. The whole idea is we're looking for the follow through after the explosive move. So we need that momentum. We allow the news to play out. As I said just now, you can wait for the first 15-minute candle to close, or you wait for the first 15 minutes after the news, whichever presents itself first. You're looking for that first pullback after the news release. That's a basic general idea. So especially if you're on a 1 minute time frame, I think it's easiest to find on that time frame. You allow the news to play out and you look for that first pullback and you wait for the breaking structure. You wait for the retest of the breaking structure. Same entry criteria. You look for that pin bar engulfment or whatever your criteria is to enter the market after that first pullback because you're looking to get into the rollover and the continuation of the into the direction that the news had gone initially. Minimum 50 pips target. The whole idea is to get in, get out, take your money. No stress. It should be the least stress trade that you ever take, to be honest. All right, so to go over some examples, here it is. We have the news. So, excuse me. We have the news event. So the news here was at 9:30 in the New York session, our window for trading. We get a whipsaw, as I just mentioned earlier. So we have a high and a low after the news. We get some sideways movement. We eventually get a break of structure here. We get a pullback and the next candle would have been the entry. Seeing that we're also working inside the 100 pip box with the idea of the 50, 25, 0, 75, 100 levels, it's ideal to actually take the entry at one of those levels. And in this case, it was a 50 level. So ideal entry would have been here. Anywhere in this candle would have been fine, to be honest. Stops the bar before the previous bar, one bar stop. And this takes us on an explosive move. First target could have been here. Final target, the zero, actually this is a 25 level. My apologies. So this is 100, the big bright line, 75, 50. Our final target could have been this 50 level here, and this would have given us an 8-to-1 RR trade in total. Next setup, we had a news event on the pound. It was a pound news event, and this was on 21st. Recent news event, and we allowed the news to play out. Showed us its hand. We waited for the first pullback, the break of structure, and then the retest of that would have given us our entry. My entry ideally would have been this engulfment of this candle here. And so right at the 25 level, stop at the low of the candle. And this would have given us why did I not put the risk to reward? I think this was a 6-to-1 RR trade. On the same day, so we had news at 4:30, and then we also had news in the New York session, which was, so that was pound news. This is US dollar news at, I think it was 9:45. So we had the news event taking us into the low, right at the 25 level here. We had this W formation because we wouldn't have looked to take an entry anywhere here because we are waiting for the break of structure to give us our confirmation, which in truth could have looked for a breakup. We could have accepted this breakup structure here, and but we're allowing that 15-minute window to pass, and that 15-minute window would have taken us to here. So it's a good way to help us to see more clearly what the market is doing, and which is why this would have not been the ideal way to look for the entry with this breakout structure here, even though we got a retest that didn't break the low, but it was more risky than anything else. So we allowed that 15-minute window to pass and wait for that breaking structure. We got that explosive move, which took out these highs here, about 4 levels. Clear indication as to where price is going next with the W formation as a double bottom. We had the retest of the low, which didn't break the low, so that low held. This retest came, and we waited for the engulfment, which was right here. Retested that, and because this is a huge candle, and the entry here stops at the low of the candle. This was a 16.5 to 1 RR. First target here, or first target here, second target here, and we could have allowed the blow off to happen and given us the rest of the move. We continue. This was a pound CAD news event. This was Friday, or no, it was Wednesday. And we had the news at, time was it? Just outside the London close, which is around 5. So this was sometime in the after 6, or maybe after 5, actually. And in the morning, we had I think it was a 5 o'clock news event on the pound. And we had a little whipsaw with the news, and we got the breakout structure after the whole 15-minute period would have passed. The 15-minute candle would have closed here. We got that breaking structure. The retest, small retest, it's a retest nonetheless. And the next candle would have been our entry, the open of the next candle, and stops at the high of the previous bar. And this would have given us a 7.5 to 1 risk to reward ratio trade. Exited at the numbers, which would have been, I think this was a 50 level, and that would have been a decent trade as well. Yeah, so my thing to you to say today would be to take one of these setups, and the whole idea is you can take one of these setups and just run with it basically. Choose which one you prefer, which one seems easier to you, which one you get, and you can simply just look for that setup whenever you're looking to enter the market. We get news events a lot or often enough for us to be able to look for first bounce trades all the time. You don't have to be stressed out about the news and where the direction of the news will go and how do you get in and all of that. You simply wait for the news to play out, wait for the market to show its hand, then you look for your entry. It's so easy. It's mind blowing. Very easy. The whole idea is to keep it simple, stick to the easy money, meaning stick to the easy processes, stick to the easy setups. There's no need to be always stressing about how you enter the market. Look for the setups, follow the rules, get in and get out, take the money and leave. Don't be in there hanging around and the whole idea of these trade setups is to catch the most explosive moves in the market. And in the case of the news, we avoid the explosion, but we still get the follow through, which sometimes can give up to 100, 200 pips depending on the instrument that you're trading. Because most of these examples that I just showed were no less than 50, but almost up to 100 pips. Except on gold, I think that was 200 pips. So uh, there's no need to stress about like how you're what type of profits you're going to be getting from these moves. It's they are very profitable, very clear, executable trade setups. You just need to practice, study your charts, understand when you're to enter, when you're not to enter, when you're to leave things alone, understand the timings, use the timing windows, don't trade don't take trades outside of the windows excepting where you have valid reasons to do so. I'm not saying trades are never ever taken outside of the windows, but your highest probability trades will happen inside of the timing windows. And the numbers are important. They'll help you to gauge your entries, and they give you'll find that price is sensitive all the time, if not most of the times, to the numbers, the 00 levels, the 50 levels, the 75 levels, 25 levels. Very sensitive to these areas as well. Just keep it simple, and remember, we do it. We're getting 1% better every day. All right, traders, have a great day, and I hope to see you soon again. Take care. Bye bye.